Hello, my name's Lee, and this is my channel, FPL Top 1K, and this week we're going to be looking at game week 22, and we're going to do a little preview of the players that I'm going to field in game week 23. Okay, so if we look at where the points come from this particular game week, I got a bonus point for Ryan for making 5 saves, and I got 2 clean sheets. I got 4 assists. Now, I'm still happy with those players. I'm still happy for the long term. Still got some great fixtures to come up, and I think you get weeks like this. You get weeks where you look at those players, you look at the fixtures, and you think they could do. They should have done better, but for one reason or another, they haven't. So the most important thing, I feel, is to take it on the chin, not dwell on it too much, and move on and start thinking about the next game. Because although I've dropped quite heavily, I can quite easily make those points up in the following game week, because I've still got Salah, Mane, Alexander-Arnold. They're going to get me points. I've still got 3 Leicester players. And I don't feel that there's much there I need to change, certainly considering the fixtures coming up and the form of some of those players. So I'm certainly going to stick with this team for the next few weeks and just be patient. There's 2 players that I'm monitoring, if you like. One is Soyuncu. When I look at how he's done recently, he's basically kept 1 clean sheet in 7 matches. Now that's not a great return. So he's certainly someone that I'm going to keep an eye on. And the other guy is Lundstrom. Now Lundstrom I've had right from the start, right from the get-go, and he's done pretty well for me. But the concern is that there is only 1 clean sheet in 4, and he got subbed on 69 minutes. Now, reading the media, there are reports that the Sheffield United manager was disappointed with Lundstrom, and that's the reason why he's taken him off. Now, I can't imagine Sheffield United going forward without him, because he's a defender that plays in midfield and he gets forward. And when I've seen him, he plays really well, and he's had a few shots on goal. Now, I haven't seen the Sheffield United match, and so I can't comment on how he played. All I can go on that he was taken off because the manager was just disappointed with him. But from an FPL point of view, he's been a points magnet for me, and so I've got no plans to sell him. What may happen is, if he doesn't play, I'm obviously, because one reason or another, perhaps he needs a rest. I mean, when you consider that most of these players that I've got in my team, they played every match over Christmas, and the Christmas period is quite intense, and perhaps some of these players are feeling the strain of that, and Lundstrom could be one of those. So what I need to do is I need to consider cover for Lundstrom and also Soyuncu. If he's going to carry on and not returning too much in the way of points for me. So moving forward to game week 23, because they're the only 2 players that I've got concerns about, other than Grealish. Now Grealish for me is an outstanding player. He does really well in that Aston Villa side. Unfortunately, the rest of the players in that side are not doing as well. So I feel Aston Villa need to bring in a couple of players. They need to bring in at least another midfielder, and they need to definitely bring in a striker, because I believe they've got no strikers. all their strikers are out injured. So Grealish is basically trying to do it on his own. So what I'm considering doing is, until Aston Villa bring in some fresh players to help Grealish, I'm considering putting Grealish on the bench. Now, obviously, the obvious way to go here is to put Grealish on the bench and bring Danny Ings in. Okay, so moving on to game week 23, this is how I intend to line up. And the obvious change there was Grealish for Ings. Ings I've brought in, and he's going to start for me every game now, purely because of his performances. I did predict wrongly that his good run could come to an end against Leicester. But watching that match, he was fantastic. He had 9 shots in the box, and on another day, he could have quite easily scored a hat-trick if it wasn't for good goalkeeping by Schmeichel. And so with that in mind, and his run, there's no reason why his run can't continue now, because he's got some good fixtures ahead. And so he starts for me. He starts for me now every game. And so until Aston Villa can sort themselves out, I'm going to put Grealish on the bench, which means Maddison is going to start for me now every game. I've got no concerns there, and I'm quite happy because, again, Maddison, the whole Leicester have got some good fixtures coming up. So, and again, I think to a certain extent, Maddison and Vardy are fixture proof. And when I look at the rest of the team there, Calvert-Lewin has got some good fixtures, certainly for the next 4. So he's got the potential there to return some points for me. De Bruyne is a no-brainer. Doesn't matter who he plays, he can return points. Salah and Mane are the same. Doesn't matter who they play. Plus Liverpool have got a double game week coming up as well. So I've got no worries there. Alexander-Arnold in defence, he's a starter. The only concerns I've got really are Lundstram and Soyuncu. And what I've done, I've brought in Brandon Williams now and Holgate. And so what I've done, I've replaced Kelly and Rico. Kelly I thought was on borrowed time. He's going to get dropped once Joe Ward is back. And Rico, he can't even get in a dire Bournemouth side who lost 3-0 to Watford at the weekend. So I needed to get rid of those 2 players, and for the same money I've brought in Holgate and Brandon Williams. Now Holgate, for me, he could cover Lundstram, and he can cover Soyuncu as well. So I've got a genuine replacement if those 2 players don't perform, or if they're dropped. And so Brandon Williams is more of a long-term thing. I will pick and choose when I put him in, but he's a great player who's returned points recently. And noticeably at the weekend, he got a clean sheet, and he got an assist, and he also had a great opportunity to score. The only problem that I have with Williams is he's a bit of a yellow card magnet, and that's the only concern. But he's only 4 million, and really, when you look at the price of who you can get for 4 million, because that's all I had to spend, he was the obvious choice. But like I say, I'm going to pick and choose when I put him in. And United have got good fixtures towards the end of the season, so hopefully, if he can establish himself in that time, he may well be a regular in that Man United side. You never know. Okay, well, I think that's it then for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Hit that like button and leave a comment below. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss any future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.